Network Immigration Coalition. And thank you so much for coming to our wonderful press conference here today. Do you want to get closer? I think a lot of people want to take photos with everybody in it, so we might have to do one of those 45 angles. Yeah. Anyway, today we are extremely excited to announce 10 scholarship awards that go directly to 10 undocumented students we call dreamers, so that we can directly support the education and college education and the bright futures of these young individuals. They are awarded $2,000 scholarships for the spring semester, and together with that, there's a whole array of leadership, development, and training opportunities. So we wanted to just announce that and have a chance for the media to meet with them directly and to hear from them directly. I want to note a couple of things. Number one, the diversity of the fellows here. We have dreamers from all kinds of backgrounds: Korean, Mexican, Peruvian, Dominican, Pakistani, Chinese, Jamaican, Ecuadorian, like the full array of diversity of New York City you are seeing in our Dream Fellows. Second, the timing of the announcement of the scholarship just could not be better. I don't know if all of you saw the huge big article in New York Times and the momentum that we have in legislative proposals to open up financial assistance to undocumented students. Because what the government is doing right now is unacceptable. The federal government is obstructing the college education and the development of bright futures of all our young people right now. But we're not going to just sit by and let legislative gridlock stop the futures of these young people. And that's why we embarked on this major project to support them through scholarships and leadership development opportunities. Now, we could not have done this without the support of key partners that you will hear from. First is the Fund for Public Advocacy, and we have Reshma Sandani, speaking later, and then Bill de Blasio, our public advocate, who is parking now and will be here in 2 minutes, and our funding partner, Korean American Community Foundation. Kyung Yoon is here. So with that opening, I wanted to just turn it over to Reshma to be our next speaker.
I'm so excited to be here. For me, my parents came here as political refugees in 1973, and this country had the courage to give my family a chance. And because of that, I was able to pursue higher education, go to college, go to law school, go to grad school, and every door that opened up, I flew through them. And like these kids, I ran through them. And I've never been afraid that one of those doors would close on me. And for these kids, every single day, they get up and they struggle and they go to school and they study and they learn. But they're afraid that one day one of those doors is going to close on them. I was just outside speaking to one of my fellows, and she's studying biology. And I said, "What are you going to do afterwards?" And she said, I need to get a job because I can't practice. I never want to hear any student ever say that. These kids, instead of working in operating rooms and boardrooms, are working as waiters in restaurants. They're incredibly talented. And we need to pass the DREAM Act. And we need scholarship funds like the Dream Fellowship to make sure we're giving these kids an opportunity. Choma and I were just two people who basically came together a year and a half ago and said, it's wrong that the city council got rid of the Peter Malone scholarship. Let's do something. We put on a fundraiser, and we were able, because of that, and with the help of KACF, to change the lives of these 10 kids who are standing here today. And so, y no podemos para aquí. Este año podemos financiar 10 becas, but we need to double, triple, and quadruple that number. In the next couple of years, we need to make sure we're funding 100 kids, not 10 kids. These brave young students didn't get here just by waiting. And despite significant challenges, they're standing here before you today, desperately wanting to call this country their home. And I don't know about you, but I can't think of anything else that's more American than that. So, that, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to invite up Kyung Yoon, who's Executive Director of the Korean American Community Foundation, our funding partner, because these things only happen when there is a support from the philanthropy community also, and we just are so appreciative of her vision to support this project. So Kyung?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tongma and Reshma. I am so pleased and honored to be here today representing KACF, the Korean American Community Foundation. We are delighted to be a co-funder of the Green Fellowship. Because as a community foundation, we are cultivating philanthropic giving in the Korean immigrant community to help not only Korean, but all communities in New York. And we just could not be more pleased to support programs like the Green Fellowship that provide opportunities for immigrant youth to pursue an education and to also gain valuable leadership training. I know that in the national conversation, some people immediately associate the word dream with immigration. But when I today walked in here and I look at the young people standing up here with me, and like Reshma, I'm also an immigrant myself. And I just see in their faces their promise, their potential, their hopes for the future. And to me, that exemplifies the universal meaning of what it means to dream. To seek an education and opportunities to succeed, of course, but equally important, the opportunity to contribute. And that's what the Korean American Community Foundation is seeking to do as an immigrant community foundation. And we hope that through this fellowship, the students who have no or limited access to opportunities can achieve their own educational goals and empowered to set their own courses in life. Thank you.
And thank you so much. You can feel the commitment and the personal conviction that drives some of the work and the investments behind the scholarship. But now you get to hear directly from the fellows themselves. First is Johan Garcia, one of our fellows. And remember, we had more than 100 applications, out of which we picked 10. So these are the kind of the selected fellows represent really kind of one of the best leaders in our community. So Johan?
Thanks, Anna. It's a great introduction. My name is Johan Garcia. I'm 25 years old. I came to the United States of America 9 years ago. I'm originally from the state of Puebla, Mexico. When I immigrated from Mexico, I was looking forward to achieve the American dream. Arriving in the U.S. in a new land looked very promising back then. Diversity, immigration, culture, dream, success, education. These are the words that popped into my head when I thought about coming to New York. In Mexico, I never got to finish high school because of lack of motivation and financial economic problems. Arriving here in the United States, my first job was in a diner, washing dishes. One day, my brother came from work with a paper on his hands and said, "Here, this is your registration to attend English classes at the New York Language Center. You said you were here following your dreams. Well, we don't want you here as a dishwasher. My dad wanted for you to do great. You promised him you were going to make him proud, to be successful regardless of your struggles. Most of all, you will be the person you always wanted to be, someone in life." 9 years ago, I started to work in the kitchen of a restaurant. Today, I still work in the same environment. I work overnight in a cafe where we make sandwiches, coffees, and pastries. That's how the life of an undocumented individual most of the time looks like, inside the shadows. Not many options on your way, very much deal with what you have. Life is not supposed to be that way. You don't have to stick with what life or current situation is allowing you to live with. But in the education part, I have been a dreamer and a champion. In these 9 years, I completed 2 years of English classes at the New York Language Center. I earned my GED at Lehman College. I went on and took many preparation courses for college at CUNY. I recently earned my associate's degree from BMCC in business management with a concentration on travel and tourism courses. During this time, I also interned at the mayor's office for adult education. I was a treasurer and a president of the BMCC Travel and Tourism Club. I was also a student government senator at BMCC and a legislative painter at the New York City Council. Currently, I attend Hunter College, which I also represent at the CUNY Malave Leadership Academy. Moreover, I had the pleasure of being also a member of the Advocacy Committee at the New York State Youth Leadership Council, where we are currently pushing very hard for the passage of the New York Dream Act. My academic and professional career doesn't stop there. Thanks to the New York Immigration Coalition, I'm able to attend Hunter College. I'm currently taking 3 writing intensive political science courses. As part of the Dream Fellowship, I was assigned to an internship at one of the New York Immigration Coalition members organization, La Fuente. At La Fuente, New York City Civic Participation Project, we work as part of the same family, and I have been given many opportunities for the community. For example, a few days ago, I went to a meeting in Long Island, where I made a presentation on the New York Dream Act legislation. At the end of my presentation, people seemed to be so excited and motivated. And I realized that people do care about what happens around there. And that all we need is leaders who will help those people to move forward just to the next step. Thanks to the leadership training at the New York Immigration Coalition, I am growing strong. It vitalizes my soul as at Hunter College, where I expect to do great. My next step will either be Harvard, Yale, Columbia University, or George Washington University. I will continue with the pursuit of my dreams. I am going to be a human rights lawyer, a congressman, and a United States senator.
On the way.
All the way.
Man with a plan.
Yep, I'm a dreamer. Perhaps I don't have everything. Sorry. I wish I had right now. But I have hope, courage, and motivation to follow my dreams. Thanks.
And I just want to say that this scholarship not only supports individuals, but you can see that it's supporting the hopes of entire communities and other people like Johan, who see him as a real leader and a role model. So thank you for telling and sharing your story. And we want you to go all the way as far as you can go. So next we have Natalie Lopez to share her story.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my name is Natalie Lopez. I'm currently attending Brewer College. I was born in Ecuador and moved to America at the age of 4. Since then, I have attended kindergarten to 12th grade here in New York. I have pictures from graduating from kindergarten, from 5th grade, from middle school and high school. So what's missing? A graduation picture for college. It is my dream to finally have my bachelor's degree and be done with the undergraduate education. And finally be able to move on to get my master's and my PhD. But this, it's a dream in progress. Like many, many in my position. Prior to being a Dream Fellow, I was taking 1 or 2 classes per semester. If lucky, I was able to be a full-time student. And I was working full-time at diners, being a waitress, here and there tutoring in English, the language that I actually really love. I don't know where my path will lead after the semester, but I am thankful for the experience thus far. With the Dream Fellow Scholarship, I'm interning at Cabrini Immigrant Services, where I've been welcomed with open arms. We're currently organizing a trip to Albany with the Lower East Side community. Seeing and being part of a community united in a commitment to immigrant rights is more inspiring than ever reading it in a book or just picking up a newspaper and seeing a story. It has taught me not to be afraid of who I am, of where I come from, and of what must be done to come out of the shadows and stop being afraid. The leadership training takes us further to know what our resources are and how to speak up and let our voices be heard. I may be nervous right now, but I know that everyone listening to me can relate. It gives us opportunities that further our involvement and strengthen our character. It shows us that we are not alone. Our stories represent 65,000 students who are in the same position, in the same situation, or have family or friends who know this story very well. We, everyone standing here right now, we are their voice. And we're going to do everything we can to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so inspiring, every single fellow. Next we have Kimera Hutchinson to share with us her story.
My name is Kimari Hutchinson, and I am a senior at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in Deviant and Culture Studies, a certificate in dispute resolution, and a minor in psychology. I was 10 years old when my mother brought me to the United States from Jamaica. Unfortunately, things did not go as planned, so our immigration status did not change and we remained undocumented. My mother, in her decision to immigrate to the U.S., took a risk for her children so that we may have opportunities that she did not. But I was too young to understand how that decision would shape the rest of my life. In high school, as I started to explore those opportunities, I started learning and understanding the limitations I would face, not because I did not have what it takes to go far in life, but because I'm undocumented. My education is very important to me because there's so much I want to see change in this world, and I believe that through education, I can be a world changer. I am very passionate about alternative to incarceration programs for young people, because I believe that it will be in the best interest of not only the youth, but of this country socially and economically. It is hard being an undocumented student, working hard and always being reminded that there's a chance that everything that I've done, all the sacrifices made by my mom, will all be for nothing because I don't have papers. It doesn't matter if I worked hard and got a 5.0, even though that does not exist.
Go away.
It will all be for nothing. Being a recipient of the Dream Fellowship Scholarship has been very encouraging for me. It has been a symbol of hope. As a fellow, I am brought face to face with so many people who truly care and see past my status, and other dreamers who inspire me to not give up. I have been given new insight. I know the change I want to see has to start in me, and as a fellow, I have been challenged in ways that stir that change. Thank you.
So now that we've had a world changer, U.S. Senator, we have this small office in the city called Public Advocate. Just kidding. We're incredible. We say that with much admiration. We're incredibly lucky to have our Public Advocate, Bill de Blasio, here with us. Just being part of this wonderful program and just being there, providing so much support for the young people and immigrant communities in general. So even though you had parking problems, you're welcome.
I got here at the end. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Tongwan, New York Immigration Coalition, for the leadership that you've exhibited in this effort and so many others. To Young, want to say it right? Young, did I say it right?
You got it. You're perfect.
I'm working on it. The Korean language lessons, I take them every night. It's a lot of work, but I want to do it. And the Korean American Community Foundation, which is an extraordinary group. And thank you for the great support you provided this effort. To my deputy, Reshma Sabjani, and her team at the Fund for Public Advocacy, this was a labor of love. Reshma put her heart and soul into this. She can relate personally, as a child of immigrants, and her own life experience, I think, helped her to understand how important it is to get this right and to do something. Look, it's extraordinarily frustrating, I have to be very blunt here, listening to Johan, Natalie, am I getting it right? Kamari?
Yes.
Kamari. Kamari. I'm feeling a couple different things at once. For one part of me as a public servant is thinking we'd be blessed to have all three of them end up as leaders and public servants. You can hear the passion, the eloquence, what kind of impact they could make. As an American and a grandchild of immigrants myself, I'm offended that we even have to be standing here having this discussion. You know, I think it is outrageous that these young people just want to do the right thing and are facing the burden they face. And I feel like through the fund and through Reshma's efforts and everyone's efforts, we're doing something to respond. I think it's a small but important effort, but what it really says is everyone should do something. We all have to make up for the madness of our national policies by doing something at the local level, doing something with the people in our lives, and just somehow, at the grassroots, take charge of this issue and respond in any way we can. And at least in the case of these young people, we're doing something. I also have to look at this as a parent. My daughter is applying to college as we speak. And she is not going to be questioned and, you know, at every turn challenged. She's no different than these young people in terms of her heart, her mind, her desire to do good in the world. You know, but because of a certain piece of paper, everyone will just assume she belongs here, everything's fine, and, you know, what can we do for you, how can we help? These young people have not had that privilege. So, to me, I would like some of our friends in Washington, D.C. To meet Johan and Natalie and Kamari and think of them as they would their own children. You know, we often talk about the analogy that we would like to see the people who make decisions about war and peace make those decisions with their own military-age children in mind. Would they vote for a war that they send their own children to? Well, I think there's a parallel here. I'd like to see the folks in our federal government, particularly in our Congress, think about their own children. Meet these young people who they couldn't help but admire and relate to. Think about their own children and think, would you want your children to have anything but the maximum opportunity, the maximum respect, the maximum chance to serve their country? So we've got a lot of work to do. I hope that through this work with the Dream Fellowship, we're going to help these individuals to achieve their goals. I hope we're going to send a message to anyone else out there struggling that a lot of us care and we want to help. And there's a community of people, and Chung-Wa is such a great example of this, a community of people that are devoting themselves to finding ways to help. And I hope they will believe that someday, not too long from now, we're going to fix these laws and bring some justice to the situation. And that in fact, we're going to need them to do it. We're going to need the same kind of leaders that we're celebrating today to be part of making this country whole and solving this problem with us. So I'm very, very honored to be here, and I'm really proud of these young people and look forward to seeing the great things they're going to do with their lives. Thank you.
Bill, thank you so much for your remarks and your support. Now I'd like to introduce you, Yeltsin Ramos as our next speaker.
My name is Yelki Ramos, and I'm also a Dream Fellow. I'm undocumented. I'm currently a senior at Baruch College, studying public affairs with 2 minor concentration, one in journalism and one in real estate. For me, I've always understood what it is to be like, what it is to be undocumented, what it is like to be undocumented. When I first came to this country 6 years ago, I made my priority to learn English. It's always been a struggle to get around the system, to try to be to try to fit in. When I was in high school as a sophomore, I was in a bilingual class in which I didn't know if I was going to be able to ever get out of that high school. It was truly a jungle. 2 years after that, I was standing as the valedictorian of my class, and as I was giving my speech, I had no idea if I was going to be able to find the financial resources to afford a college education. When filling out applications, I just heard my counselor said, there's a lot of great opportunities out there, but unfortunately you don't have those 9 digits that will allow you to apply for them. And one way or another, I was able to, I told her that I still wanted to apply to school and I would think about the financial part of it later on. I applied to CUNY and I'm so glad that I was accepted to it, because a lot of people think that you have to go to one of the big schools to go far. I think CUNY is a great, great institution with great professors, great resources, and I'm glad that I'm a CUNY student now. I was able to fundraise money for my first semester, and little by little I completed a semester here and there with money from scholarships like the fellowship, the Dream Fellowship. And today I'm a senior graduating, and I feel like I don't know exactly where life is going to take me, but I still have hopes and dreams that people like the one standing here today will continue to care about students like me and like the other ones here today that have great potential, and that all we want to do is contribute back to the country, that perhaps we were not born here, but we feel that we are as American as anyone else here standing in this room. And I just want to say that I am very thankful that I was elected as one of the Dream Fellows, because thanks to this scholarship I'll be able to complete my last semester in my bachelor's studies. And I also want to take this opportunity to say that everyone here in this room should consider being part of this movement, because believe it or not, we need as much support as we can possibly get. It is very hard being an undocumented student. It is extremely hard to go to bed at night not knowing if you're going to be able to one day practice what you're studying. Sometimes I go to bed at night and I cry because I don't know if tomorrow when I graduate I'll be able to do what I want to do. For now, I'm applying to the CUNY School of Law to be a public interest lawyer, and I hope to see more opportunities like this one supporting my education and the education of others like myself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandra. You've all been recruited to be part of the movement. Thank you. Next is Eduardo Resendez.
Good afternoon. My name is Eduardo Resendez, and I'm an undocumented student at Lehman College, CUNY, where I'm preparing myself to obtain a Bachelor's of Science of Music degree in the year of 2015. I was born and raised in Mexico City, and I came to the U.S. at the age of 15. Due to many personal situations, my parents decided that moving to the United States will give my younger sister and I better chances for a more promising future than in Mexico itself. We came here, as many others have, and will be, if not the next one, to change this. We crossed the border, and it's not something to be ashamed of, but something to be proud of, because in the end of the day, we are all Americans, because America is a country that is diverse, with many cultures, and many people that makes it as one. Once here, I began to attend high school, where I learned to speak English as my second language, and I began to adapt the American culture into my daily life. I successfully graduated from high school in the year of 2009 and was accepted to Lehman College, where I began to pursue my deep interest and love for music. Nevertheless, being an undocumented student in college hasn't been an easy journey, and still is not an easy journey. There have been many adversities that I had encountered on the way, especially those related to social acceptance, insecurity, and financial instability, that tend to constantly put at risk our chances to finish our education and accomplish our long-term goals. However, thanks to the emotional and financial support of organizations like the New York Immigration Coalition and the Dream Fellowship, undocumented students like myself and all of us standing here, we are able to find the hope that keeps us encouraged day over day to overcome all of the adversities that we face in our lives. This does not only allow us to continue our education, but to be one step closer to fulfill our bigger dreams. The trainings that we receive here prepare us to be less afraid and insecure about our migratory statuses. It teaches that our experience isn't to be silenced but shared to those who are in our position and those who don't understand exactly what it is to be standing here. Finally, our work at the organization makes us aware that living as an undocumented immigrant is not a crime, but a lifestyle that takes a lot of courage, independence, and self-perseverance to achieve our greatest purposes and goals in life. I continue to work hard, my education and dreams in order to give back to the city that I have spent many formative years as a high school student and now as a college student. For my English speakers, I would say that the change begins with each and every one of us, the dreamers. But each dream is accomplished with the help and support of each and all of you. For my Spanish speakers, el cambio comienza con cada uno de nosotros los soñadores, pero el sueño se logra con el apoyo de todos y cada uno de ustedes. Gracias. Thank you.
Final speaker, Emily Clark.
Hello everybody, my name is Emily Clark. Since I'm the last speaker, I'm going to make it really short. So, as my last name suggests, I came from South Korea at the age of 15. Now I'm 23 years old, a super senior. I am obtaining my second degree in biology. My first degree was in neuroscience. So I go to college and I would like to attend graduate school eventually because I want to pursue medicine one day. And so I could become a productive member of the society, just like so I could contribute back to the society, just like my friends do. As an undocumented student, however, this dream of mine has been really difficult to achieve because I'm ineligible to get financial aid or any type of scholarships. So it's all just because I don't have the 9-digit social security number. So the Dream Fellowship gave me a hope that there's someone out there who wants to invest in my education, even though I do not have that social security number. At my internship site, which is called Minkwon Center for Community Action, which is a grassroots organization for Asian American community based in Flushing, Queens. I am currently working on a campaign for the New York State Dream legislation called the Dare the Dream campaign. And I also work on organizing youth around the issues of the social justice like the Dream Act. So, through this internship, I have been learning the importance of educating our community about their rights and what they can do to improve our community, which would lead to not just the empowerment of self, but also the improvement of our society as a whole. I'm very glad to be part of the Dream Fellowship to learn these valuable lessons that I did not have a chance to learn as taking science classes. I think as a whole, I'm becoming a better person, a better member to better this society that I live in through this internship. Thank you.
So as you can see, what we did today is much, much more than just scholarship, but we call on all of you to help us recruit donors to the scholarship because we need the scholarship. And then number 2, scholarships are not enough. They're just the beginning of the empowerment process for these young people so that ultimately we can remove the big barrier that's standing in their way, the immigration status barrier. And so one immediate thing that we can all do, and I think a lot of the young people have called on us to rise up to the occasion, we need to change laws in Albany and we need to change laws in Washington, D.C. So we also invite all of you and all of your communities to come join us for Albany Immigrants Day 2012. We have over 1,000 people coming, including lots and lots of dreamers and parents and supporters. That's next Wednesday in Albany. So with that, we'll take questions or any other, questions or interviews with individual dreamers. Any questions? Everyone is just stupefied by your stories. So thank you very much for coming. So feel free to